How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back to Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. First and foremost, I know it's so annoying, but if it's your first time watching, be sure to subscribe. If you enjoy the channel and you enjoy the videos, please hit the like button. I know it's annoying, but the more you do that, the more time I can spend making these videos. The more times you hit like, the more this video gets out, the more money it makes, the more times I can take off charters, more videos you guys get to watch. So there's the end of my speech. Today, plan on doing some commercial diving. I haven't done this in quite some time. I know a lot of you guys like this. This is one of the most frequently requested trips or videos that I make. Haven't been doing it a whole lot. I've been so busy with charters, but quite frankly, I've had 4 charters cancel this week and I need a paycheck. So gonna get out there. Me and my buddy Justin are gonna head out and try and do some commercial diving. The market needs grouper. So we're gonna go out and try and look for some groupers and snappers and whatever else swims by. Waiting for some of this rain to pass and gonna head down to the boat. I will see you there. Let's rock and roll. We go! All right, so we are on the first spot. If this is your first time watching, what I'm doing today, commercial spearfishing. I'm harvesting fish to give to the sell to the market. Market sells it to the restaurant, goes to a lot of hands, keeps a lot of people working. If this is your first time watching, my full-time job is a charter captain. I prefer to do that because I have to take a lot less fish to be profitable, if that makes sense. On a charter day, 2 or 3 groupers is a great day. Commercial day, I need 8 to 10 to make some money. But as I said earlier, I've had 4 charters cancel this week, so I need a paycheck. And I haven't been diving in a while, but we're on the first spot. 65 feet-ish. Got some nice life on the bottom. This is pretty much just a roll-off. Starts in like 40, goes down to about 70, just on the face. Kind of a Swiss cheesy type bottom. Got my good friend Justin with me. Can't remember if I said that, but we're suiting up and we're gonna hop in. Let's check it out. Welcome back underwater, boys and girls. I'm going to share my thoughts on some of these dives. There's actually a ton of dives in this episode, so a lot of cool situations, some stuff to talk about. I will share what I'm thinking as we go along. So water was kind of murky for Key West standards, but it goes back and forth. I mean, definitely diveable. I'll take this all day. Some days it's crystal clear, some days it's 5 foot of viz, but as far as grouper hunting goes, which is normally our main target because they pull the best price, as far as grouper hunting goes, this viz was incredible. I'll take it, but a lot of your local Key West people would call this murky. Kind of doing my first drop here, just scanning. Not a lot going on, to be honest with you. Normally I'm kind of picky, but I didn't see a single grouper. And unfortunately for this mutton, he was the only one kind of cruising around. Just trying to be patient until he gets a little more broadside to me. I see a lot of people take rush shots and the fish kind of swimming away at an angle. It's a very tough shot to make, and a lot of times you're going to get more meat than anything. And the reason we harvest these fish is to eat them, so try not to ruin the meat if we can. And I always dispatch, bleed, and gut every fish for quality standards. Someone asked about that the other day. It's for meat quality. And I actually had a camera on Justin this day. Normally I can't talk anyone into filming, but Justin put a camera on. This is his very first drop of the day. Same spot. This is great grouper bottom. I was just kind of random that there weren't any there. Well, black groupers anyways. This is a nice red coming up. He's kind of scanning around to see if there's anything else, because a red will normally kind of hang out. But they love this, and this is what I call Swiss cheese bottom. It's kind of thick rock, but lots of potholes and cracks and caves to hide in. They love that kind of stuff. Justin kind of doing the same technique I do, letting his gun get away from him so he's not dealing with that line. Don't want that line getting wrapped around you in any way. There we go, I'll take it. Not a bad start. Something else I've had a few people ask about is breathing techniques and stuff like that. A video they want to be made. Quite honestly, I'm not a free dive instructor. I'm self-taught. Not super comfortable sharing that kind of stuff because I'm not properly trained, quote unquote. But if you pay attention to some of my breathing, you'll hear majority of the time I'm on the surface. I'm just trying to be super mellow, relax every muscle in my body. And my inhales are half the length of my exhales. I like to breathe in deep, but I exhale nice and slow. Try to be at least twice as long. I feel like that calms me down a lot better, brings my heart rate down. Nice mutton, being patient. Could have shot him a little earlier there. That would have been a rush shot, kind of heading away. Wait till he turned broadside and gave me the perfect stone shot. If it were up to me, I'd stone every fish that I shot at, but unfortunately I'm not that good. Always let go of my gun if I can, depending on how I'm fighting the fish. If I'm running out of air, I normally drag the fish, but I've got plenty of time, get that gun away from me so I'm not dealing with that line. On to the next. So we moved out to check a wreck. Most of the wrecks down here are hit pretty frequently, unless you've got some secret ones. But most of the shallower ones are hit pretty often. But sometimes if you hit them early or late in the afternoon, they'll hold some fish. They just get a lot of scuba divers and stuff like that. Doing a drop, kind of scanning. You can look straight below me. There is a very healthy black grouper there, kind of taking off mid-screen. Unfortunately, did not stop. He just kept going. That thing was conservatively 20, 25 pounds, maybe 30. Try not to throw too many numbers around, but I've seen enough fish to know that thing was beefy. And this guy comes up, kind of checks me out, and I hate this unicorn shot. I've talked about it before. A lot of times you're going to miss or run the shaft right down the fillet, so I wait till he flicks. I know he's going to, whether or not it's going to be fast or slow. Luckily, it was a slow flick, fortunately for me, and gave me the broadside shot there. Another stone shot. Love those. I've got Justin looking out here. A lot of times on these wrecks, you'll have predators, sharks, or Goliaths that'll come down or sneak up on you on your way up, and switched over to Justin's cam, and he went down just to secure this thing, make sure nothing was coming up on me. I've had Goliath groupers eat 25, 30-pound groupers before, and it is not a good feeling. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I spooked a 30. Did you? Yeah, he went up to the bow. That's a nice fish right there, though. He was big. Yeah, I'll take him. He's bigger than I thought he was. There was two like this, and there was one big one. Again, I bleed and gut everything, especially on commercial. Sometimes not commercial, I just bleed them. It improves the meat quality, in my opinion. So here's Justin's dive. He drops similar to me. I need to film some entries sometimes. I think that's a lot of issues I see with people's diving efficiency is their entries kind of sloppy. And use your momentum, do a couple flutter kicks, use your momentum and roll down into the water. This is Justin's first drop on the wreck. Kind of scanning around. Typically on these wrecks, like I said, they're hit so much. Normally the person with the first drop has the best opportunity for a grouper because they normally take off and go out into the deep water. Nice dog snapper. He waited, he was patient. Biggest key with these is, or wreck hunting, is getting the fish out of the wreck quickly, and he did that. You do not want them to get wrapped up in there.
I shot, there's one twice as big.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh no. Were you sitting on top or on the edge?
Right on top. Both.
Right on top? Wow. Still, that's a nice one. So we did a couple more drops on the wreck. Everything had kind of spooked, which is pretty common, like I said. So I moved into the shallows. Just wanted to check a couple shallow ledges. A lot of times I'll hold groupers in here as well. The water was decently clear in here. Had a nice big school of yellowjacks come in, and these things were moving so fast. That was honestly a terrible shot. I really rushed that. Not my style. I don't know why I did that, but sometimes you make mistakes. This thing made quite a run. So I'm gonna cut this clip a little short. He went and ran. Justin actually had a grouper rocked up in here, and I think this yellowjack spooked it out, and he kind of wrapped himself around the rock. A lot of times you'll get these big female nurse sharks that get kind of fired up, and they sensed the disturbance and came over to check what was going on. Nurse sharks aren't the best hunters by any means. This yellowjack was actually big. I think it was 15 gutted. So this is a clip from Justin. He found this big grouper. I mean, for 25 feet of water, this thing's huge. Kind of out in the open hanging out, and he's doing just kind of that running away side to side thing, and Justin could have taken a shot there, but he's gonna put a shaft right through the meat, and that was patience right there. I think that was better for him not to take that shot, because that was a beautiful fish, and it just didn't give him the good go-ahead shot. I'm just checking some rocks here. And if you're right-handed, I'd keep the ledge on my left side. Just the angle of the gun is better. I mainly showed this clip because the sharks come and mess with me. It's kind of funny, but that's something I talk to people about, is your approach on a ledge. Because I'm right-handed, I want the hole or the ledge to be on my left side because the gun has a better angle. Now, if I'm left-handed, I want the ledge to be on my right side, if that makes sense. I had a red grouper on my belt that I didn't have my camera on when I shot, and these nurse sharks sniffed it out. I'm guessing these are females because they seem kind of frisky. When they're spawning, they get real friendly like this, so it was pretty funny. Nurse sharks are real docile. They normally won't charge or anything. They're just kind of curious, and they can smell that fish. This one was pretty persistent. They are docile, but don't sleep on them because they will take your fish if you let them. So I kept forgetting to do topside film. Moved to another spot. This is a little deeper. This is my first drop. Water kind of got worse as the day went on, a little murkier. You see some nice lemon sharks here. Of all the sharks I have trouble with, I think lemons and the small reefs are my biggest concern. The bulls are powerful and aggressive, but the bulls are pretty clear with their intentions. The lemons will kind of turn on without warning, in my opinion. And this looks like a black grouper, but this is actually a yellow edge, and we don't see a lot of these. This fish is definitely legal. They only have to be 20 inches, but I don't see a lot of them. I'd rather a client shoot it, or quite frankly, let it hopefully spawn and make more. We don't see a lot of yellow edges over here. Or yellowfin, excuse me. I'm thinking of the deep drop grouper. Yellowfin grouper is what it's called. These lemons are all fired up. There was a nice mutton back there, and you could barely see him, but the lemons kind of got spooky and scared him off. And Justin told me that there was no way that I was going to get a fish out of here with the lemon sharks around, so I kind of took that as a challenge, of course. So did another drop. This was a little shallower, about 55, 50, I think. Kind of scanning. On my drop, I see a nice black grouper kind of spook off here. Right there. Kind of takes off. And I really didn't think I had this fish because it kind of took off pretty quickly. So I'm just trying to keep my eye on it. Stay mellow. I'm still scanning because a lot of times there will be another grouper. And now I'm just trying to get low to the rock. So it stops, pauses me, gives me that head-on shot. Hate that shot. Flicks out to the side. And here I really think I lost it, but I'm staying low, and this grouper slips and makes a mistake and pauses briefly, just broadside, long enough for me to get a shot. Kind of a crappy shot. I got a little bit of meat there, but no big deal. It was a little murky. I thought I was a little farther forward, and I slowed that clip down, and right when I pulled the trigger, that fish kind of took off forward, so put the shaft a little farther back than I was aiming, but no big deal. Nice grouper in the boat. You can actually see a yellowtail sticking out of his mouth. So since I got that grouper up off the bottom, I decided to do one more drop. There was a decent amount of life here. I was convinced that there may be another grouper down there. Just kind of scanning around. I've got my eye on this really nice mangrove, and I'm not convinced on it. I'm just kind of being picky. But quite honestly, I'm scanning to make sure those lemons aren't around or going to bug me again. So I decided to take a little hip fire here on him, and quite frankly, just terrible timing. And it's not often I lose a fish to a shark, and I tried to get this thing up, and I almost lost my fingers. I had that line wrapped around my finger. Luckily, was able to clear it before he grabbed a hold of it. I talk about that, getting wrapped, and if a shark grabs something, if it's wrapped around your weight belt, you're going straight back down with that shark. Got lucky there. So to slow down a little bit from this morning, we're still shooting fish, just started out hot, but slowed down a bit. But we're still chugging along. Wind picked up quite a bit, actually. But we're gonna keep moving. So this is our last spot of the day. Kept moving down. This spot is 60 to the bottom. The deeper sides are 65, 70, kind of depending on where you drop. It's kind of a hump. The water got really murky. The camera actually makes it look better than it was. There was a nice cubera there. Those pull about the same price as muttons, but I'd rather have a client shoot one of those. I saw quite a few on this day, but just kind of leave them alone. Scanning around. This is my first drop. That cubera is kind of being friendly, of course. Here's a grouper here, kind of sizing him up. Like to make sure he's legal. He was pretty mellow, so I stayed pretty mellow. And he's up against the rock, so I try and get my hand on the backside of that shaft as quick as I can, because a lot of times if you shoot him up against something like that, the flopper's not going to go all the way through. The shaft will stop, and that fish will shake off. And that last one was a smaller grouper. You can't really make everybody happy. If I shoot the small ones, they tell me I'm killing juveniles. If I shoot the big ones, they tell me I'm killing breeders. So can't make everybody happy. But I assure you it was legal. Again, just kind of scanning. The spot had tons of life on it. There was lots of big mangroves, muttons swimming around. Just very, very happy today. Lining up on this guy, and he kind of spooks off, and he triggers another grouper. That one went so far, I kind of chose to go after the second one that he spooked. I wasn't sure where he went, but because it's so murky, they blend in really well with the bottom when it's this kind of color, and he comes across and gives me that broadside. And in these situations when it's murky, I try to get my hands on the fish because I can't tell as well what the shot looks like unless they're really close. I actually got a good nick in my shooting line on the banana gun, so I switched over to a different gun. These guns are basically the same. If you're not familiar with my videos, I've got a video that I break them down. They're pretty much the same, other than the fact that one's a rear handle and one's kind of a mid handle or a rear handle plus, but pretty much all around the same specs. And this is all in the same spot. Quite honestly, I spooked probably 3 or 4 times as many groupers I shot here. A lot of people ask me, why do you shoot so many fish on one spot? Well, if the spot's healthy, you know, take what I can, but I promise you there are a lot more that you don't see or that you spook. Another shifty grouper kind of running away. And I don't think I'm going to get the shot. And I kind of paused, and I didn't realize that he stopped. I thought he kept going. I do a little hip fire here. Again, they blend in really well with the bottom. The camera actually makes it look cleaner than it is. So I took 3 groupers off this spot, and I promise you I spooked about 7 or 8 at least that I saw. And here's a kind of a quick cut of some other of the snappers I shot. Lots of big mangroves, lots of nice muttons. I left probably half a dozen muttons, 2 or 3 nice cuberas. This spot was just littered with life today, or on this day rather. Stay tuned for the commercial breakdown. I appreciate it.
Woo! That's rock, baby.
All right, we are done out here. Plenty of fish, tons of fun. I think we've done enough damage to make a couple bucks, so we're gonna head back and get these weighed up. We'll get you the good stuff that you like, the numbers. See you there. Freezing. So I'm here at Keys Fresh Seafood. Pretty much what we do is separate all the fish, weigh them individually by species, get a tally, add those numbers up. Each species pays a different amount depending on whether it's grouper, snapper, jack. Each fish brings a different price. So we're divvying them up right now. I'll get you the numbers when I got them. Tissy, who's that? Did you get him? It's my ferocious guard dog. Alrighty, I've got the good stuff that you guys like. Before I share it, a couple of quick things I like to share. I know we always say that, but first off, please hit the like button if you haven't already. I know it's annoying if you're watching the videos and you do enjoy them. If you don't like them, then thumbs down. But if you do like them, hit the like button. It helps a ton. It gets them out there. And the more popular these are, the more time I can spend making them for you boys and girls. And other thing I wanted to share on commercial, this commercial side of things, of all the videos I make, I think the commercial videos probably receive the most negative feedback, which is fine. It's the internet. People are going to do that. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me, I promise. But if I have an opportunity to educate someone or put things into a little perspective, I'm happy to. So keep in mind, if you are buying fish from your favorite restaurant, local fish market, supermarket, whatever, Publix, Piggly Wiggly, wherever it is that you shop, if you're not getting it from a friend or going yourself and getting it, you're supporting some sort of commercial fishing practices. Now, with that being said, of all the ways that fish can be harvested commercially, there's long lining, gill netting, deep dropping, hook and line. Some countries, I think, fish trap, which is really not good in my opinion. Some things have high rate of bycatch, which things die unnecessarily. Some don't. Spearfishing, I'm going down. I'm selecting one fish at a time. I see a fish that I want. I shoot that fish. I take that fish up. Nothing is dying unnecessarily. I'm selectively purchasing each fish off of the reef. And a lot of times I let fish swim. You know, there's a lot of species that I don't harvest that I think if they're in trouble, I leave them alone. Hogfish, for example, is a fish that I don't harvest anymore. So just keep that in mind. Maybe put a little perspective on some things for some people who think this is negative, especially if you're buying fish at a restaurant. You don't really have much room to talk there. But let's get down to the numbers. I'm done rambling. So we went out. We actually cut the day a little short. Justin got a pretty bad headache, and I'm not a huge fan of people diving when they're not feeling well. I don't want him to have a blackout or anything like that. Not worth it. But so we maybe could have done a little better, but not a big deal at all. Still did fine. Just wanted to get some money coming into the business because I had 4 charters cancel. So we had black grouper, mutton snapper, red grouper, yellow jack, gray snapper, and dog snapper. And if this is your first time watching, keep in mind this is a daily profit. This is not going straight into my pocket, back into the business, keeping everything running smoothly. There's maintenance, boat slips, insurance, gear, all that stuff. Total sale of $490. We had $100 in fuel and $50 for chum, so our daily profit was $340. So not bad. You know, I had a lot of fun. I still think it's kind of unbelievable that I get to go out and do that and I make money doing it. It's kind of a dream. It's been a long journey for me to get here, so it's pretty exciting that I can do that. But that's all I got for this one. Let me know how you guys feel about the commercial thing. Leave some comments. I'd love to hear whether it's good or bad. Again, like button, subscribe if you're not already. Send me some ideas. I'm getting to them as I can. And I will see you on the next one. Later.